All right, we need to have a chat, and this is at the Dead by Daylight community, because we're at the point where I don't think this community is going to last much longer, and it's not due to the developers. I believe that it's due to the community tearing itself apart and how polarizing people are within the community. Recently, a new developer update came out, and we're getting updates to Ghostface, we're getting updates to Legion, we're getting updates to Hemorrhage. Fantastic updates. I fully believe that they make total sense. I don't see anything about them that I could find controversial from any point of view. But as of yesterday, they announced that with the next PTB that's coming out, they're changing Circle of Healing. Circle of Healing, this is the current stats here. As you can see, 60, 70, 75. Below that, 40, 45, 50. This is the new speeds, right? This is where things are getting a little dicey, because everyone is up in arms about this update. Everybody hates this. I say everybody, clarify that. It feels like Survivor mains who only use this as a faster self-care are upset by this. Now, let me explain my reasoning. If we look here in the comment threads, now you can go look for this yourself. It was a small observation I made. As I was looking through it, like a lot of people are saying, like, this is a cool nerf, but it's not really the nerf that we need. This isn't enough. This is too much. It's very responses, right? But the biggest comparison that I keep seeing about this is that everyone keeps saying that it's now just a slightly better self-care, and you're just better taking self-care now, right? That speaks volumes to me, because this is still a 40, 45, 50% bonus speed to healing other people as well. But they don't talk about it. They don't say that. They're saying it's just a worse self-care, but it's not. Like, the entire purpose of a boon is the area of effect, so that you can have other people use it, not just a solitary perk. But people seem to be treating it like it's a solitary perk. Realistically speaking, my opinion on boons is that I think they're lazy. I think boon totems are a very lazy way of developing perks, especially with like everything past Circle of Healing that we've seen, just other perks that are slightly weakened and then tacked onto an area of effect. I don't think that's that exciting. I think they could have done infinitely better with it. That's maybe a different conversation. Right now, I believe the biggest issue that exists with boons, in and of itself, Circle of Healing is a problem, yes, but boons themselves are a problem because there is no risk reward to them. Boons can be relit as many times as you want. There's no cooldown. As long as there is a dull totem on the map, you can light this. Yes, it takes time, and it takes longer if you're trying to bless over a hex totem. When we compare that to hexes for killer side, some of them are active from the get-go. Some of them take a little bit of build up to become active, and when a killer loses their hex, that's it. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. So you turn what is a 16 perk versus 4 perk game into a 16 perk versus 3 perks, 2 perks, 1 perks, depending on their build. Now, yes, you can argue that's maybe a bad decision from the killer. Maybe they shouldn't do that because it's reliant on all these things that can easily be destroyed. In the same vein, there should be a risk reward aspect for survivors. I believe the best thing that you can do is, rather than killers being able to snuff totems with their like 1 second animation, if there is a boon, let killers destroy it. Now, in an example, if a killer has Pentamental, right, where they can go around and they can relit destroy totems. If survivors have boons, killers can destroy them and then light Pentamental. Survivors can come back to that destroyed boon, destroy it, and that totem's gone from the map now. So now neither side has a benefit from it. Why can we not instate something like this? Why can we not instate a risk reward, a back and forth, which feels like it would add a much better dynamic to the game, other than survivor running over going, oh, found boons, ha 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 ha, hey, let's everybody heal now, and then killer's kind of going, right, okay, well, I'm going to stand on it, I'm going to go chase this other person while she come over and just relight it, so I've wasted my own time. Because this is ultimately what boons have done for the killers. It's just a waste of time for them, to the point where if it's not somewhere that they're just passing, or if it's not somewhere that they've ended a chase, they're not going to bother. They're not going to go seek it out because it's not worth their time. A killer's time is incredibly valuable in this game, and I think a lot of people who play Survivor maybe don't play as much killer or haven't played a lot of killer don't quite grasp that. The biggest issue with this game is that it's all about time management, and as it stands, the survivors are the one that are dictating how the killer manages their time, and that, I understand, is what the asymmetrical aspect of this game is about, but you need to find a balance between the two. As it stands, it's not balanced, not even remotely. Somewhere in this thread there's a comment that says only 14% of the player base is killers. That means 86% of the player base for this game is survivor. Take this with a grain of salt. I've not seen anything to back it up, right? But for the sake of what I'm about to say, we're going to use these figures, right? So if you've got 86% of the player base playing survivor, 14% playing the killer, right? As more and more killers find this game harder and harder and less fun and less fun and more stressful, they're going to stop playing. As that happens, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, that percentage of the player base goes down and down and down and down. Now here's a thought. What happens if the game becomes so imbalanced and so unfun for killers that they all stop playing? If they all stop playing, all 14% of them, 100% of the player base can't play the game, because if there's no killers, survivors can't play the game. Just a thought, maybe some food for thought. How about we try and have this, you know, like understanding of each other, and we maybe try and, I don't know, work together to make the game fun for both sides? Because as it stands, I don't find it. I'm at the point where I don't play killer as much because I just don't find it fun. I've been playing way more survivor, especially on stream. It's just infinitely easier. I don't need to focus. I can interact with chat more. It's just an easier time. So let me know, what's your thoughts on boons? What if you could balance a boon? If you could balance these boons, not even the specific perks, just the idea of a boon and the idea of a hex, how would you balance them? What would you do? So far, from all the ideas that I've read, I think my idea seems the most balanced between the two, to having a tug of war between the two sides, because ultimately the game is supposed to be a tug of war between two sides. And if you can implement a system where killers can destroy the totems as well, because there's now a beneficial item for both sides, I think it brings more balance to the game and people have to play smarter. Let me know your thoughts. I'm just having a ramble and a rant about the DBD community because I can see it turn itself apart very soon. And with like VHS, you've got Texas Chainsaw, you've got Evil Dead, you've got Ghostbusters. We're in the point where there's a lot more asymmetrical games are coming out. DBD has its crown because it's been around for the longest. It was kind of like the first successful asymmetrical game. It's not going to be able to hold on to the forever. It can't just rest on its laurels. It has to do something. And if you don't believe that the player base is like falling away from this game, we'll look at the Steam charts. Since MMR got added in July last year, it's bombed. The player base is bombed. I think the last time I checked, it was like 35,000. It's literally half of what it used to be. Now, obviously, it doesn't account for all the other platforms. I can speak to Steam users. There's now half of them. So I don't know. I think something has to change because the game's not in a fun state. I think that's the best way I can put it. The game is just not in a fun state right now. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see the game developing in this direction because it's a party game at the end of the day. It's an asymmetrical party game. It's not a competitive game. We should be playing this for fun. And if part of the game isn't fun anymore, kind of scunners the whole game. So anyway, just wanted to talk about it. Just wanted to say my piece. These are my thoughts. If you agree or disagree, let me know. That's about it. So I'll see you in the next video.